What is something you want to get off your chest that you may need advice on? My female 22 boyfriend, male 25, proposed during his sister's wedding and I accepted, but I don't know if I want to marry him. My boyfriend and I went to his sister's wedding last Friday. They have always had a strained relationship. It was a great wedding and both of them seemed to get along. We had been at the party for about 2 hours when he goes up to the DJ and asks for the microphone. I thought that he was going to toast for his sister, but no, he asks me to come up to him. I was terrified. I remember thinking to myself, he is not doing that. No. I also remember looking at his sister and she looking at me and we both had the same look on our faces, but she was more mad. He then proceeds to propose to me at his sister's wedding. People were cheering around us and his sister just looked like she wanted to cry. I was just frozen, and I didn't know what else to do than to say yes. I was crying, but not happy crying. People were super ecstatic. After that I went up to his sister and was apologizing over and over. She was mad, like mad. I felt so sorry for her. I left early and my boyfriend came at like 2 a.m. hammered to our hotel room. I was mad, so I confronted him. At first he was like, babe, my whole family was there, it was the best time, till he finally admitted that he also did it because his sister had ruined his graduation by announcing her wedding. I left the morning after and haven't talked to him since. I don't know what to do. He won't stop calling, but I am very mad. I don't even know what to say to him. Would I be unreasonable if I refuse to cook for my boyfriend even though he can't cook anything? My boyfriend, M24, and I, F21, have been together for a little over 2 years. Due to the expensive area we live in and the fact that we're both broke, we have been living together for 1.5 years. Now my boyfriend cannot cook to save his life. He once asked me how to make ramen noodles from the package. For the entire time we've lived together and even a bit before that, I cook 90% of the food we eat. And I've gotten decently good at it. I cook for most of our friend gatherings too. It's something I've really come to enjoy and everyone who knows me knows that. My boyfriend can make sloppy joes and pizza, which he will do sometimes, but that's mostly when I'm not there to cook. Recently one of our mutual friends had a birthday and my boyfriend decided he wanted to make him this ice cream cake his grandma used to always make. I offered to help him with some of it because he didn't have the complete recipe and was trying to figure some things out, but he rejected my help completely. He eventually figured it out and made the cake. It was a little messy, but who cares? It's ice cream cake. The day of our friend's birthday comes and we're all having cake. Me, my boyfriend, the birthday friend, friend number 2 and friend number 3. Someone comments that it was really good and my boyfriend turns to me and says, "Yeah," and I didn't need anyone telling me what to do, in a kind of snarky voice, which was weird, but whatever, I guess. I told him to be careful because I cook all his food, in a kind of joking voice, to which he replies, "So why I didn't get a cake this good for my birthday?" I had made a cake for his birthday a few months ago with a recipe I hadn't tried before, but I remembered my mom making it and really enjoying it. I tried really hard to make that cake and he knows it. It was a little on the sweet side, but no one had seemed to mind. I thought it was good and no one told me differently. The fact that he just insulted the cake I made for him on his birthday in front of all of our friends really hurt, especially since it was a much harder cake to make than an ice cream cake, which is basically just layering ice cream and toppings in a pan, and if it looks bad it doesn't matter cause it tastes the same. I didn't say anything for the rest of the evening, and when everyone left I told him I was mad at him. He didn't understand why I was so hurt by him insulting my cooking. Wibta if I decided to stop cooking for him until he apologizes or learns how to do it himself? TLDR, my boyfriend who can't cook made one decent cake and decided to insult the one I made him. Now I don't want to cook for him anymore. Am I the unreasonable one for kicking my sister out of my bridal party? My 28 years old female, only sister, 26 years old female, has been nothing but negative and unsupportive of my wedding. Nearly every time it comes up in conversation, she has something to say along the lines of, "I don't understand why you're spending so much money on a wedding when you can use it for a house, car, etc." Now, I understand that she's entitled to her opinion, and I just let it go at first. But it hurts that she never has anything nice to say. I've been saving for a long time, and have always dreamed of my wedding day, and I just want to be happy about it without her judgment. It's also made doing wedding-related things hard. When I went dress shopping, pre-pandemic, I felt like I couldn't be happy because she was always commenting on how expensive the dresses were and what a waste of money it was. When I found the dress I wanted and got teary-eyed, she basically laughed at me and the rest of my bridal party and said I was being over-emotional about an object. It got worse when we tried on bridesmaid dresses, as every single one had something wrong that she didn't like. When I put my foot down and chose the ones I wanted, she complained about the price again. even though I had already offered to all of my bridesmaids that I'd help pay for their dresses. The negative energy she gave off really ruined the day for me. Now, with things starting to open back up, I've been discussing with my bridal party about my bachelorette party. I decided not to have a maid of honor for a few reasons, so we are all planning it together. I really want to do an out-of-town weekend trip, and everyone else is in, but my sister. She refuses to come unless she gets to pick where we go. I told her that while I'm open to suggestions, ultimately it is my bachelorette party, and I am going to have final say. To this, she basically said it's a waste of money and she won't be joining us then. I decided to call her up and have an honest conversation with her. I told her that her negative comments and energy have put a damper on my wedding, and that if she can't be supportive and happy for me, then there's no reason for her to be in the party. She said she's entitled to her opinions, and is basically unwilling to change. So I told her not to bother then and hung up. Now my family is upset, since she is my only sibling and it's not right for her to not be in the wedding, but her presence is ruining things for me. Am I the unreasonable one? My son, 16 years old male, has been cheating on his girlfriend, 16 years old female, and has gotten another girl pregnant, 15 years old female. My son, 16, has had a girlfriend for about 2 years now. They were inseparable for months. She was always at our house every weekend and was genuinely an amazing person for my son. He was always a gentleman and a sweet person, so they both deserved each other. He always would buy her gifts and surprise her since her family has had money issues in the past and it has made her become stressed, and eventually she had to get her own job because of this. She found extreme comfort in my son. She even had my number and always made sure to give me a call or text to tell me to have a good day or ask me where my son was if she hadn't heard from him. About 6 months ago, they seemed to become distant. She stopped coming over more and more, and often I could hear them arguing whenever she did come over. Most of the time, she would sleep on the couch across the room from him and they would watch movies all night. But recently she started to leave earlier and earlier and always seemed upset. I tried to mind my business and give my son his privacy because I know how much privacy means to teenagers. However, one day, this was in September, I couldn't help but ask when she was literally crying and walking out of his room saying the exact words, "If you don't love me, please just say it." He said he was busy with school and that they were arguing too much and broke up. After that, she never came over anymore and my son started going out more and coming home later. He told me he was finding new friends and exploring new options. Fast forward to 12 p.m. today. I get a text from a girl saying that she found my number in my son's phone and asked if she can talk to me over the phone about my son. She eventually goes on about how they've been hooking up since June and she found out she was pregnant by him 2 months ago. She failed to give me a specific date. She said she was about 4 months pregnant so far and just turned 15 in late September. Eventually, she tells me how he's had a girlfriend for a while and that he promised to leave her so he could be with the girl and take care of their baby together. I was shocked by this news and thought it was a sick prank, but she then showed me messages exchanged by them where she sent him pregnancy tests and pictures of them together. She was bawling her eyes out on the phone and telling me that her parents would kick her out and she's scared of what his girlfriend will say or do to her. She told me that she wanted to keep the baby and wants to confront his girlfriend, but felt like it was more important to come to me first since he said he wasn't going to tell me until he left his girlfriend. This whole time I thought he was single, but it turns out they have been together and that he's been going over to her house instead, so I would think they were done. The girl even told me he went as far as secretly blocking my number in his girlfriend's phone so she couldn't text me or call me anymore. I don't know where to begin with this. How do I confront my son? I never took him as this type of person. Like I previously stated, I just found this out around 12 p.m. and do not know how to go about this. My son is at his friend's house staying over and is coming back tomorrow morning. What do I even start with? I'm so confused and torn. Am I the unreasonable one for not wanting my sister to come out at my wedding? My fiancé Ben, a 20-year-old man, and I, a 20-year-old female, got engaged fairly recently. My sister, a 24-year-old female, is bisexual and it's not too hard to guess that, to be honest. She buzzed her hair and talks a lot about going to gay bars, how attractive female celebrities are, and other topics in LGBT culture. I'm not saying those things make her bisexual, but even if she had not told me I probably would have guessed already. However, she has never formally come out to my family. When I told her I was engaged, she brought up bringing a girlfriend to my wedding. She doesn't have a girlfriend right now, but said that by the time of the wedding she might and she would like to bring her girlfriend. I said of course the girlfriend would be invited, as long as she came out to my family before the wedding. Call me selfish, but I'm not really interested in me and my fiancé's wedding turning into a coming out party for my sister. I can understand that she might be worried that my family will judge her or something, but that doesn't change my point of view. When I told her that, she didn't seem too happy with me, Cut the conversation short quickly, and we have not spoken since. I'm a little worried that she might come out at my wedding anyway, girlfriend or no girlfriend. The wedding is still about a year away, and I want to know if it would be better just to let her do what she wants at the wedding. To answer some common questions and comments. 1. I am not going to out my sister. That is not an option as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather have her create a scene at my wedding than that. At least then I wouldn't be the unreasonable one and everyone would see it as tacky anyway. 2. Some people in my family probably do not realize she is bisexual. We have some relatives we only see once or twice a year, if that. 3. Some relatives of mine might care, maybe 4, but none of them are my immediate family. Fiancé's family will not care. 4. She did not explicitly ask me to come out at the wedding. She basically said congrats, I knew it was coming. I hope there won't be any drama if I bring A+1 if I have a girlfriend at that point lol. 5a This conversation took place over text message, which was unfortunate. I wish we had discussed this in person instead. But here we are. 6. Sister and I have a rocky relationship of her in my opinion making big life events of other family members about her and this is why I jumped to the conclusion that she would not tell my family about her potential girlfriend until they showed up at the wedding. Thank you for all the advice. My 27 years old male, girlfriend, 22 years old female, of a year slept with another guy while we were taking it slow a month into dating me. I have been with this girl I'll call Jess for close to a year now. Since specifics matter here, we started dating around last Thanksgiving, but it was only about a month later when we said we're in an official relationship. I really liked this girl from the get-go and we've gotten very close since then, and we're actually planning of moving together soon. Here's a problem. Recently Jess and I ran into a guy at a small get-together with mutual friends. They exchanged a weird look like there was something between them, but I didn't think too much of it at the time. During the party something came up about the place Jess went to for a date. The time was clear since it was a Christmas market in my town, and again I thought something was off about the guy. Well, later that night I actually get a text from him. He got my number from one of the mutual friends, but said, "Hey, I don't know you, but I thought you should know that Jess and I hooked up right after Christmas." I confronted Jess about this and I could tell she tensed up right away. She got this sad look on her face, but confessed right away. She said she had met this guy on Tinder and hooked up a couple of times, but stopped any contact before we became official. She said she wasn't sure we would get into a relationship at that time, but she still felt bad that I found out this way. She said she considered telling me, but was afraid it would ruin things between us. I told her I needed some time to think and proceeded to get drunk that night and ignored her texts. The thing is I feel very betrayed and I am really considering ending things. Sure, we weren't official when this happened, but we had already been on multiple dates at that time, and I thought it was pretty clear that we were moving towards a full-fledged relationship. On my side, I had no interest in pursuing other girls at that point because I only wanted to be with Jess. And on her end she was definitely hinting at us evolving into a couple and strongly hinting at exclusivity. The other part that kills me is that during this early stage, Jess specifically said she wanted to take things slow physically until we knew each other better. But during this same time she hooks up with a guy she barely knew from Tinder? When I asked her this she said it's different because she took it slow with me specifically because she thought we would get into a relationship. But it was somehow different with a casual hookup. That logic makes zero sense to me. I don't really want to talk about with my friends because I think they would hate Jess if we end up staying together, but I would like to hear opinions. Would you stay in a relationship like this if things were going well, but the beginning was so shady? TLDR, my GF met up and hooked up with a guy while we were dating, but not official while she was taking it slow with me. My 21 boyfriend 22 recently found out about my parents' income and wouldn't let it go. My boyfriend and I have been together for a few years now, and recently he found out what my parents' annual income was as we were discussing the topic of professions and what people in different fields make. My parents have a lot of money, not super rich, but definitely upper middle class. We don't live like rich people and you won't be able to tell that my family is well off easily like some people who live in huge houses and own expensive cars and designer clothing. Not that there is anything wrong with that. If you have the money, why not use it? My boyfriend's family is middle class, but on the lower side and definitely are way more cautious of their money than my parents. However, this isn't inherited family money. Both my parents started from low and have worked really hard to earn what they earn today and still do, and I have explained this to him. Anyway, ever since he found out he keeps bringing it up. It's not like he's judging me for it in a mean way, but he makes jokes about it or mentions how my parents can afford things easily that his parents can't or that most people can't. This is starting to really bother me. I know he doesn't mean to hurt me, but if I tell him to stop he'll kinda brush it off. I feel kinda bad about the situation, but it makes me feel like I'm at fault for being born to parents with a higher income when in reality it's not my fault. I don't know if I should even address this with him since I don't really know what to say. If anyone has any advice, I would highly appreciate it. Am I the unreasonable one for ruining my dad's proposal? By the way, pandemic restrictions have been mostly resolved where I live, so going out is allowed. A few days ago it was my 14 years old female birthday. We got to go out to eat at a decently nice place. My family isn't poor, but we also are a lot less than middle class. I have a lot of siblings, 6 of us total, and my dad is the only one working. So getting to eat out somewhere besides fast food is a special treat for us. For the context, when I was 10 my mom died from breast cancer. It was really rough on my dad, 44. But after 2 years he was able to move on and get back in the dating field. When I was 12 he met his girlfriend, 39, and they have been dating for around 2 years now. I really like her. She's nice to me and my siblings and has been a mother figure in my life. Onto the story. My family was eating at the restaurant and we ordered our dessert. I got some cake and my dad ordered a slice for him and his girlfriend too. I didn't notice until the waiter set it down, but there was something on top of my dad's cake. He picked it up, stood up, kneeled on the floor, and proposed to his girlfriend. I was pissed. He took over my birthday dinner so he could propose. Every birthday now isn't going to be my day. It's also going to be about their anniversary. I yelled at my dad for proposing since this was supposed to be my special dinner. His girlfriend never got to say yes before I interjected. I grabbed my stuff and stormed out of the building and waited at the car. My dad came out a few minutes later with everyone else and scolded me for ruining his proposal. We haven't talked since then. I'm worried now I might be the a-hole since he doesn't have a lot of opportunities to do something nice for his girlfriend, and I messed up the shot he had. Would I be the unreasonable one if I didn't let my friends SO come on our friend group's lake trip? In January, my friend group planned a summer lake trip. A few friends and I created an invite list. For the record, my cousin let me use her lake house for the trip, and I have the final say on who goes. One close friend, who I'll call Olivia, requested that we bring along her friend. We'll call her Kylie. The trip was originally planned to be friends close to our circle. I was reluctant to say yes, but eventually I gave Kylie an invite. As the trip is approaching, Olivia has informed me she can no longer make the trip. This is where the issue arises. Normally Kylie would not go if Olivia does not. However, Kylie just started dating one of my close friends. We'll call her Mia. Mia is coming on the trip. None of us know anything about Kylie, except that she has shown dislike to some of our friends recently. She still plans on going, and I'm afraid it's gonna be awkward because none of us are friends with her. My other close friends have SOS, but none of them are coming along on the trip, since it's just supposed to be close friends. Would I be the unreasonable one if I revoked Kylie's invite? Also, I may have understated the fact that there is high amount of tension between Kylie and some others in the group, and it would make some friends feel uncomfortable. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories delivered to you. Thanks for listening. See you later.